In this video, I'm going to talk about what is financial independence and how you can think of becoming a financial independent and then you can implement. So all these strategies I'm going to put together in this video. If you want to know, then stick around. Alright, so what is financial independence? In my opinion, financial independence is passive income that covers your day-to-day expense. As long as you have passive income and that covers your day-to-day expense, you are financially independent. Now, what is passive income? Passive income is something that is not active, that doesn't need your day-to-day time every single day. That doesn't mean the passive means like you would not put any effort, but it's just like it is not tied up with every single day. It's not a job. It's not like Monday to Friday every single day you have to do. That's not passive income. Passive income is some sort of an investment that you have done. Yes, monthly or quarterly you have to do some work, but it is giving you most of the case it is the passive. Okay, so that's the case. Now right now the best passive income strategy that I put together is buying commercial property. Now buying commercial property, there are so many ways or so many things that you can do. You can buy the full property, you can be portion of the property, you can, depends on the strategy, depends on your circumstances. So that is the passive income route, right? Most of other investment, yes, you can get some passive income if you invest into residential, if you invest into shares, but not as much as buying into commercial. Okay, now next part is the strategy. If you do not have a passive income, like if your passive income right now is below $1,000, it is very difficult for you to think about having a passive income which is 15 or 20,000 per month. Why? Because having that kind of a gap is like your mind is so far-fetched that you'll not be able to conceive and you will not do this. So this is how I want you to put together. If you have below $1,000 passive cash flow, first focus is that, okay, how can I get $1,000 passive cash flow? Now, $1,000 passive cash flow is not a lot, but $1,000 passive cash flow perhaps is going to cover all your groceries, monthly groceries. So you need to associate that, okay, rather than $1,000 passive cash flow, all my grocery expenses would be covered by my passive cash flow. And now it is going to give you a motivation to think, okay, how can you get $1,000 cash flow? Now, $1,000 cash flow is as long as you invest, let's say 200,000, you will get $1,000 cash flow. Right now, look at it. If you have around 200,000 and if you are putting a deposit for an investment, make sure that you are getting $1,000 cash flow month on month basis. So in other words, you are getting a $12,000 cash flow after investing 200. Now, most people do not think about that. Most people think about, even though I'm putting 200,000, it is still going to lose money. So I need to put more and it will going to come back in the future. That's a wrong strategy. That's a wrong, because you do not know how you can survive for the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So I would rather have $1,000 cash flow now rather than having a more cash flow later, because I don't know. That's my principle. My principle is I would always have to have. So if I'm spending 200,000, I would be asking that, okay, how would I get a $1,000 per month passive cash flow? Once you have achieved this, then your next option will be, okay, how can I make from $1,000 to $2,000? And that $2,000 now it is going to give you, like, let's say all your medical bills and all your, travel expense is going to be covered by that. Now, not only you have actually covered your bills in terms of the foods and all grocery bills, now you have also covered your another $1,000, which is your travel expense. Now, $2,000 again, probably same thing that you will put together is that, okay, instead of 200,000, how I can invest another 200,000, which is going to give you. But it is not linear. Why? Because the first 200,000 that you invested, it has grown a little bit, right? It is going from $1,000 to it is eventually become like a $1,200, $1,100, $1,300, and then another $200,000 you put together and give another $1,000. All of a sudden, it is going to be $2,300, $2,400. Like way it is going up. Now, I want you to think like that, because that gives you an idea of telling yourself, okay, any money, and that could be even like, let's say, even though you're investing into 50,000, how much cash flow that I am getting. Once you get this 200,000 passive cash flow, then the next option would be how I can make it to a $5,000 cash flow. But now you learned about that, you have already put together a strategy of getting $2,000 passive cash flow per month. Now you are putting together how you can get a $5,000 passive cash flow. Now again, there are so many different strategy, creative strategies and all, but I want you from number point of view put together. Now what would $5,000 passive cash flow is going to do? Perhaps it is going to cover your rent as well. Perhaps it is going to cover your other expenses, that your car rent or your house rent is going to cover. $5,000 passive cash flow is not a lot amount. To start with 1,000, then 2,000, then 5,000. Within few years you'll be able to see that you are getting 5,000 cash flow. Now it sounds so simple, but at the same time people don't want to use it. People just want to lose money and they want to save tax. But I want you to put together this thought of how can I get $5,000 cash flow, and then there is no limit. You can, once you get 5,000 cash flow, then you can put together, okay, how I can get a $10,000 cash flow. So it's better to start with $1,000, then go to 2,000, then 5,000, then 10,000, then rather than putting $10,000. Now of course people's circumstances is different. If you are already in a position where you can jump into $10,000 cash flow within a year or so, of course you can. I myself did that. So but that was a different strategy, and I understood and I put together this, and my equity was significantly high, so that was different. But for now, if you do not have it, you go with this step-by-step approach. By going to this step-by-step approach, you'll be able to see that in no time you are getting this $10,000 cash flow. Now here is something very important for you. In order to quest for 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000 passive cash flow, if you just achieve half of that, or even 25% of that, isn't it way better than not even chasing it? Think about for a moment, because a lot of people will say that, oh, I don't do it because I see it's too big and I cannot eat. Start with small, put a goal. If you can't achieve, that's okay. Whatever you have achieved. Remember, most people do not have even $500 per month passive cash flow. It is shocking that most people do not have a $500 per month passive cash flow. But if you take the decision, if you think like that, and if you put together a plan, you can get a passive cash flow of $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 in no time. You will see that how does this work. I'm telling you because from my experience, I have seen that how this jumps suddenly. And if you have equity from your home, if you have equity from other investment, if you have equity from other marketplace that you put together, there are ways that you can get a better cash flow straight away. And $1,000 cash flow is not lot, but it's a start. And if you can start, you would always move forward way ahead than most people. And that is how you start to become financially independent, getting passive cash flow. And then with that journey, you will feel and you realize that one day you become financially independent. Start the journey and enjoy the ride. Thank you so much.